Representative Anna Moeller, State Representative Thomas Morrison, and State Senator Cristina Pacione-Zayas for much more. Starting with you, Senator Pacione-Zayas, given the recent spate of homicides in Chicago, one in Millennium Park, and mob activity downtown, are Democratic lawmakers rethinking at all the Safe T Act, which, as one of the provisions has that cash bail will be eliminated in the state on January 1st of 2023?
No, what we're trying to do is actually complement some of the provisions in the Safety Act by investing in violence prevention initiatives that we know are effective. For example, we had $84 million passed in the budget with ARPA funds for the Illinois Criminal Justice Authority Agency to go towards community-based organizations for street outreach intervention, for youth development, for violence prevention, for mental and behavioral health, for youth employment. Also, the Reimagined Public Safety Act is another way that we are putting the control back into communities to be able to identify the nuances and the complexity in their community and come up with solutions that are rooted and grounded in the community.
Representative Thomas Morrison, police officials like Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown have warned that ending cash bail and only holding the most violent offenders in custody pre-trial would lead to more repeat offenders on the street. Are those fair concerns?
Of course they are. And we didn't have a fair debate on this issue when it passed literally at the 11th hour in the last General Assembly debate. The Democrats cut off debate after roughly 15 minutes and did not want to answer the questions that now we're facing as a community, as a society. It's really just egregious what's happening. And we've made it harder and harder for law enforcers to do their jobs. They have such a difficult job as it is. And basically we have the state lawmakers, at least, one side of them, making their job tougher, which then makes our communities less safe.
Representative Moeller, Governor Pritzker did just recently sign some bills on carjacking, on organized retail theft, and ghost guns. Are these enough to make an impact here on the carjacking problems, the theft that we're seeing, and the homicides we're seeing, or do they just nibble around the edges?
I think that what we've done over the past couple of years is revolutionary in many sense, in many ways. We are trying to be smart about addressing crime and preventing crime and making our community safer, rejecting the old stereotypes and tropes that had been surrounding criminal justice and policing, giving our law enforcement communities the tools that they need to investigate and solve crimes and to engage with the community to create trust and build relationships. And also to address, as Senator Pacione-Zayas mentioned, investing in our communities, investing in our young people so that they have opportunities and hope for the future so that they are not engaging in activities that lead to criminal activity down the road.
Senator Pacione-Zayas, you mentioned some of the funding for anti-crime initiatives. Are there further pieces of legislation that Democrats are considering?
No, at this time, I think, my focus specifically is making sure that the dollars that we passed in the budget that go towards the programs that I just described, and also what Representative Moeller was just explaining, are actually implemented and released. We also have some funding towards mental health services for our first responders. We have funding going towards equipment and cameras on the expressway and Lakeshore Drive. To expand that kind of program there. We have a co-responder, model that is going to be piloted in several communities. And we are now putting funds towards the largest cohort of cadets with the Illinois State Police. So it's really about how do we make sure that these funds actually are released, are put to use, and therefore we can start to see thriving communities, communities that are able to address public safety holistically, and so that everybody can have that experience.
Representative Morrison, again, Republicans are in the supermajorities right now, and there's a Democratic governor, but are there further anti-crime initiatives that Republicans want to push?
Yeah, let's enforce the laws against violent criminals. Let's just do that. Let's have consequences for violent behavior whether it's against people or property. Let's support our law enforcers. Let's, we didn't have the public hearings that we should have had with our law enforcers. Basically, the Democrats pushed through a bill at the 11th hour without actually hearing from those who are standing on the front lines, keeping our people, keeping our communities safe. And so, we just have to support law enforcers and the laws that we actually have on the books. There actually have to be consequences for actions. If not, we're just going to continue to see our communities remain unsafe.
Representative Moeller, I want to ask you about a story that we reported last week that House Speaker Chris Welch had asked for some Democratic lawmakers to donate to his wife's judicial campaign. She did get $200,000 from Democratic lawmakers. Is it appropriate for the House Speaker to do that, given the power of his position?
Well, we are in the campaigns are underway right now for all levels of government. Everyone is fundraising. Unfortunately, it costs money to run for office at every level, and his wife is running for judge, and she has relationships, with individuals across the board, whether they're legislators and others in the community, and these individuals have chosen to support her in her race for judge.
All right, and we should note that you were not on the list of some of the lawmakers in the campaign disclosures that had donated to his wife, Judge Miss Raines Welch, who is running for judge. And we're going to have to leave it there. Our thanks to state lawmakers Anna Moeller and Thomas Morrison and Senator Cristina Pacione-Zayas. Thank you so much.